My friends, once again the national media has Ravens fans talking, and honestly, this latest discussion has left a lot of people shaking their heads. We all know Lamar Jackson has already proven he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL, but somehow, every offseason, another ranking or another debate comes out trying to put him below quarterbacks that many fans don't believe belong ahead of him. And now, a new comparison has sparked even more controversy across the Ravens community. I really want to see Baltimore bring another Lombardi trophy back to Charm City. I truly believe this team has everything it needs to make a Super Bowl run this season. But before that can happen, one question continues dividing football fans everywhere. Is Lamar Jackson still the most disrespected superstar in the NFL? Or do you think the media is actually being fair with these latest rankings? I want to know which side you're on, so leave your opinion in the comments right now. And if you've been a loyal Baltimore Ravens fan for more than 15 years, hit that like button as hard as you can. Alright, let's talk about why everyone is once again debating Lamar Jackson. The latest conversation started with a graphic shared by ESPN NFL asking a simple question: how many first-round picks would certain quarterbacks be worth? At first glance, it seemed like harmless offseason content designed to get fans talking. Josh Allen appeared first and was valued at 7 first-round picks. That's an enormous price, but considering his talent, many people could understand the reasoning. Then came Lamar Jackson. Ravens fans naturally expected a similar valuation because Lamar has already established himself as one of the league's most dynamic players. Instead, the graphic suggested he was worth only 2 first-round picks and more. That immediately stood out, especially when compared to the quarterbacks that followed. Joe Burrow was listed as being worth 4 first-round picks. Jalen Hurts was valued at 1 first-round pick and more. Jaden Daniels was placed at 3 first-round picks and more. Caleb Williams, despite still being early in his NFL journey, was also valued at 4 first-round picks. Looking at that entire list together is what created so much discussion among Ravens fans. The comparison wasn't simply about draft picks. It became another example of what many supporters feel has been happening to Lamar Jackson for years. Every time another quarterback is discussed, Lamar somehow ends up receiving less recognition than many believe he has earned. For Ravens fans, none of this feels new. The feeling is that Lamar Jackson continues to be evaluated differently than everyone else. Instead of focusing on everything he has accomplished, many national conversations seem to search for reasons to minimize his impact. Whether it's off-season rankings, television debates, or social media discussions, the pattern often feels familiar. The names change, the arguments change, but Lamar somehow remains at the center of controversy. The conversation didn't stop with the ESPN graphic either. One longtime supporter pointed out several other examples that have continued building this feeling throughout the offseason. Madden released quarterback ratings that placed Lamar at a 94 while Joe Burrow received a 97. A 94 isn't a bad rating by any means, but many fans question why the gap existed when considering everything both players have accomplished recently. The discussion also expanded to rankings released by NFL scouts, where Lamar was reportedly placed 5th among quarterbacks. Again, finishing 5th isn't exactly disrespectful in a league full of elite talent. However, the frustration comes from looking at the names ahead of him. The argument from Ravens fans isn't necessarily that every other quarterback lacks talent. It's that Lamar's production, athletic ability, leadership, and impact deserve equal or greater recognition. Another topic that resurfaced involved television debates questioning Lamar's status as Baltimore's unquestioned starter. Many Ravens fans viewed those discussions as completely unrealistic. To them, suggesting that Lamar's starting job should even become part of a debate felt disconnected from reality. Instead of focusing on actual football analysis, they believe many television shows prioritize creating controversy because controversy generates attention. That idea became one of the central themes throughout the conversation. Modern sports media often rewards bold opinions rather than accurate ones. Outrage creates comments. Arguments create clicks. Fans react emotionally. From that perspective, controversial Lamar Jackson discussions become valuable because they guarantee engagement regardless of whether the opinions are fair. Additional criticism centered around comments from various media personalities who have questioned whether Lamar even belongs among the NFL's top quarterbacks. For Ravens supporters, those opinions simply reinforce what they already believe. Lamar continues facing a level of skepticism that many other elite quarterbacks never experience. The discussion eventually shifted toward NFL player rankings as well. Seeing Lamar placed lower than expected created another round of questions. Some fans argued that teammates and opponents should have a clearer understanding of his value because they actually compete against him. Others pointed out that the voting process itself can produce surprising results every year. Despite all the frustration, there was also plenty of optimism about the upcoming season. One fan shared an incredibly detailed prediction for how the year could unfold. It started with confidence in Baltimore's new offensive direction and the belief that Lamar Jackson could once again elevate his game. According to that prediction, by Halloween the Ravens would be undefeated while Lamar emerged as the clear MVP favorite. The optimism didn't stop there. The projection continued into the end of the regular season, with Baltimore earning the AFC's #1 seed. Lamar would reportedly produce one of the greatest seasons of his career while the offense reached another level. There was even speculation about statistical milestones that would be unlike anything the league has seen before, including elite passing numbers alongside dominant rushing production from multiple players. Naturally, those predictions extended into the postseason as well. The vision included Baltimore defeating Buffalo in the AFC Championship before advancing to the Super Bowl. The prediction even imagined Lamar winning another MVP while Derrick Henry delivered an unforgettable championship performance featuring over 200 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. It's certainly an ambitious projection, but it perfectly captures the excitement many Ravens fans feel entering the new season. Even while discussing those dreams, there was also a reminder that Lamar Jackson doesn't have much left to prove individually. Throughout his career, he has answered many of the questions critics once asked. The biggest remaining goal is obvious. Winning a Super Bowl would remove the final major argument still used against him. Everything else has largely been accomplished through years of elite play. The conversation later turned toward Baltimore's wide receiver room and what it could look like this season. One prediction placed Zay Flowers firmly as the team's #1 receiver, with expectations that he will continue proving himself among the league's best young playmakers. The belief is that another year of growth, combined with finding the end zone more consistently, could help silence many remaining doubters. There was also speculation surrounding Rashad Bateman. One prediction suggested he could begin the season as the #2 receiver before eventually being traded if things failed to work out. That scenario would create opportunities for younger players to step into larger roles. However, there was also acknowledgement that such a move would probably require circumstances to become much worse than anyone hopes. Jacoby Lane was mentioned as someone who could eventually emerge into a significant role, while Tylan T.Z. Walker was projected to contribute as another important option within the offense. Elijah Ride was viewed as someone who could become useful, particularly in red zone situations where his skill set might create matchup advantages. Another interesting name discussed was LaJohntay Wester. Expectations included making a major impact as both a return specialist and a contributor within the passing game. Reports of increased opportunities have naturally generated excitement because explosive special teams production can completely change momentum during close games. Dayton Wade also entered the conversation as a player who could finally secure a roster spot. While competition will certainly be intense, some fans believe he has an opportunity to carve out a role if he continues developing throughout training camp and into the regular season. Of course, all of these roster predictions remain just that, predictions. Training camp, preseason performances, injuries, and weekly development will ultimately determine how the depth chart looks. Still, the excitement surrounding Baltimore's offensive potential continues growing. The overall message from this entire discussion remains remarkably consistent. Ravens